This is Bodo, and you're listening to the Night Party Podcast. I hope you enjoy it, because I don't.
And welcome to another edition of the Night Party Podcast, where we leave it all on the cutting room floor. I'm, of course, your illustrious host, Zach Evergreen. And with me today, joined once again, is from Hoodcast AF, Jonathan Fallon. Jonathan, how are you today?
That's right. I'm finally off of work and on vacation, so I'm feeling a little good.
Wait
so
a minute,
where's that
Chris clack of the claw? Old fashioned. What's happened?
The clack of the claw.
The clack of the claw.
Holy shit, man! That's a little different. Yeah, I know the claw that you're talking about.
They don't have lotion orange flavor.
There it is. It's right here. So just in case you missed it.
Okay. I still don't have a wine cork thing opening, but I will soon. Real quick, let me get a sponsor out of the way. For all your premium adult beverages needs, you must go to, of course, Caps and Cork. It's right on the border of Vallejo and American Canyon. Say you're in Napa, right? You know, and you're kind of a little sick of wine. You know, you want a good beer, a good beverage, maybe a good whiskey. You go to Caps and Cork. Let's say you're in Vallejo and you're tired of fentanyl and homeless. Go to Caps and Cork. Either way, they have a full-on fridge of hard-to-find microbrews, etc., local and otherwise. All right, anyway, that's my advertisement. We're also sponsored by the
your Stuff episode featuring the dude who owns that shop.
Oh, yeah, Sharky?
Yeah, very, very cool episode. I immensely enjoyed it.
Your sarcasm is brilliant. The funny thing... That guy,
saying like it was good.
That guy knows a lot about obscure movies, dude. That, like, he probably has seen the movie we're covering right now, and that would be... What is this, the Wiz Kid or Bodo? I mean, what's the official...
So here's the thing about this movie. Whether you want to call it Bodo or the American title Wiz Kid, and I'll explain about that in a minute. This movie, I thought nobody had seen this.
I did too.
But then, after, knowing about this movie and having it on VHS and then passing it around, I showed it to you and we were just watching it as a joke or whatever.
Dude, I remember the first time we saw this movie. I remember that.
I don't remember the exact first time.
But
look, there's a lot of people who grew up watching this movie because they just had it for some reason, or it was on TV or some shit, and they watched it and they remember it forever because it's so fucking weird.
It is weird. It is one of the weirdest movies ever. It has everything. It has action, cloning, incest, samurai swords, punkers,
robots.
Robots. It's got everything. This movie, if you recall this is going to be weird. So I remember this because I was in 6th grade and you lived down the street from me in the house. My mom lived in the battered woman's shelter. More on that later.
I know. I would go, hey, how you doing? And everyone thought I was a woman beater, even though I was 17 years old or something. And dude, I'm only 17. I haven't beat a woman yet.
I know. It's like you don't put up your hand in a battered women's shelter. It just like you don't put up your hand at a Jewish retirement facility. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
So I remember, if I'm not mistaken, this is around the time where we fell in love with Brain Scan, because I think you rented it the same time that your dad went through the bargain basement, 2 for $5 VHS, and he got this movie. Think you would like it? I think it's because on the cover it's a totally different actor and he's got a power glove on. If I'm not mistaken,
I've had this movie for a long time because, my dad will just get random stocking stuffers or something like that.
I'm not saying we saw it that night. I'm saying I think we got it that day because I remember seeing the cover go, this looks retarded.
I actually got it for Christmas years ago and it just sat. And I watched it once and this is fucking weird. And I liked horror movies. I'm like, I'm not going to watch this again. But the thing is, my dad got that movie and a movie called Martians Go Home or something like that. He got it from my brother.
Oh no!
My brother watched that religiously, and it was I fucking hated it so much.
Was it one of those movies like your Beach Boys tape where you had to cut it so he stopped playing it? Didn't you cut a Beach Boys song and you took out Surfer Girl, or you took out just one song and taped it back together?
It was the soundtrack to Footloose, and he would always play the Footloose song.
Kenny
I was so
Loggins?
sick of that song that you and me took that tape and we edited it out. We taped it back together.
Yes.
And my brother went crazy looking for that song.
Yeah,
and
he
it's not there, it's
rewounded
not
it.
there.
I remember that. He fast forwarded around it trying to find it, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't there when he was doing it, but you go, Zach, he's trying to find the song. He's rewinding it and fast forwarding, and he can't
And he was
find
going
it.
crazy. And even my dad was kind of laughing at it and going, you guys got to stop this. And then eventually, tape recorders are fast.
Yeah.
The tape breaks, so you can't listen to it anyway.
Oh, it's the greatest thing about being clever and an older brother is you could fuck with your younger brother without doing any physical harm to him.
And now my brother's old and crazy and homeless.
And lives in a
So
car.
we did a good job. No, doesn't even have a car. He has a Sub-Zero sleeping bag.
Hey, now, he lost the car?
Who are you, Howard Stern? Hey, now.
Hey, pal. Well, I mean, you know what? If it wasn't for us, he'd probably be worse off. No?
Sure.
Maybe?
He could. Nah, there's no dancing.
No, there's no dancing. You know what? Sometimes you just cannot turn a pickle into a cucumber. It just doesn't work.
Here's this movie, and the American version is called Wiz Kid.
Yes.
And so it's one of those movies where you go to Blockbuster, your Hollywoods and stuff like that back in the day, and certain movie companies will buy a foreign movie just because. So this movie came out in 1989. And that
it didn't see the light of day till like what, mid-90s, early mid-90s?
Now think of The Wizard, the movie with Fred Savage and the Mario 3 craze and stuff like that.
It was just an advertisement for Mario 3, and that's why we loved it so much. And it had
great movie.
And it had like that girl with the red hair that was kind of hot when you were a kid. Now it's disgusting.
So that movie's available, because the films take a couple years to come out on VHS, and then you can rent them for like a year or two, And so right around that time, The Wizard is available for rent. But, film companies, they're like, well, we need to capitalize on this so people rent the wrong fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
So here comes an American or a German-made movie with a new cover. Now, they got the star of the fucking, movie, one of the twins, to do the cover, but they gave him this giant robot glove.
And he's older.
To make you think that it was the power glove from The Wizard.
And also, too, it doesn't. And they try to make him look like a combination between Rufus and like whatever. He does have that Rufus look, though. He's got a leather jacket. He's got the power glove. It looks like it's made out of Lego in a way.
With tubes and shit.
Yeah.
And also, that glove is never in the fucking movie.
It's not in the fucking movie. You know that you're 100% right, and I didn't even put two and two together, where they wanted this to look like The Wizard.
And
I didn't even think of that.
The thing about the German version, the movie called Bodo, which is the main star's
different
name,
cover. Different cover. First off.
It has Bodo and his clone holding hands with like Anna Lucy or the girl. What's her name?
I was almost said Star. We'll just call her Anna Lucy until we remember. Nova. Her name's Nova.
Nova and Bodo.
Yeah, remember Chekhov to Nova. Pee in the bottle. Do you ever watch Bodo?
Yeah, it's one of those movies. You know how like when you of a movie that's coming out on TV on TNT, they'll play all the old movies first or something to make you think it's the new movie.
Yeah,
and then they try to capitalize on views that way. This is the same thing,
Yeah, it's funny. This has what I call the volcano effect, meaning. Remember Dante's Inferno and Volcano came out at the exact same time. So did Armageddon and Deep Impact the exact same time.
Right. Yeah.
Also, fun fact, because I'd been researching and I lost all of my recording. So if anything sounds better or different, it's because I bought all new equipment, with the exception of my mixer. But I lost my Return of the Living Dead review. And for good, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, if you will, because I want to redo it anyway. But that movie came out, and I'm not saying like the same weekend, but the same year within about a 3-month period is Day of the Dead. And guess what? Day of the Dead got fucking just destroyed by critics, where Return of the Living Dead got like thumbs up all the way through. It got like a 90.
It was a fun movie where Day of the Dead was depressing and boring at times.
And Return of the Living Dead, let's be honest, has better effects, in my opinion. Except for the beginning of Day of the Dead, it has great effects, but then Return of the Living Dead after that, it's got like the dog sawed in half, and
Yeah, we've talked about when me and you are on these your knife party. We've talked about Day of the Dead a bunch of like here and there, and like the best effects are at the beginning
of the movie.
Like, oh,
Yeah, it seems like they blew their load. Yeah, like when they had the abandoned town and everything's coming out, and then after that you have Bub, and that's about it. All the other zombies kind of suck.
Like, fuck, what happened? What happened to the rest of the movie?
Exactly. But when you see Return of the Living Dead, especially with like, Tarman and like all the other like send more cops and the half cut in half dogs and shit, like all that stuff is so good. And the acting is spectacular in that movie. You think it's cheesy, rewatch it. It's so good. All right,
plus you have like, the main Scream Queen and stuff like that who shows the movies.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is she was a template to would later become Julie. You have like your Master Queen zombie with red hair. I mean, if it wasn't for, obviously there wouldn't be. I did a deeper dive. Return of the Living Dead 3 was actually not going to be Return of the Living Dead 3 originally.
Really?
Yeah, it was gonna be its own like movie where it was going to have nothing to do with the Return of the Living Dead series, and they just decided to use it because of the trioxin gas, etc., which I did even deeper dive. Did you know trioxin gas actually exists? Trioxin 2,4,5 is a real-life thing. And remember in the beginning of Return of the Living Dead, he goes, oh, yeah, they used it to kill marijuana plants. Well, no. What they did use it for is in Vietnam, they would fly over Vietnam and spray this shit because it killed plant life. It also had a side effect where it killed people and made them lose their nervous system, so they'd walk like zombies and shit, right? Because their nervous system was all fucked up. And it's also known as, are you ready? Agent Orange. Agent Orange makes zombies. There you go.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so more on Bodo. Sorry for sidetracking you, dude. I just got excited.
Well, so it's really hard to find a review on Bodo. Well, not Bodo, but on the American Wiz Kid. Both same movies, just different titles.
Let's just call it Bodo. It's easier, I think.
So, I found an English review by a real critic. And this guy, he reviews terrible movies. But, yeah.
You mean English like England or here?
English. Or here, yeah.
Got
it's in English, so. But, I can read it to you. And it'll give the plot synopsis in the shorts and also his opinion.
I'm pissing my pants.
Here it is. Wow. Where to even start?
Right.
This movie is equal parts disturbing and idiotic. For some reason, it was the perfect recipe to make this one of the hardest movies I've seen recently to sit through and watch the entire thing. It's just so bad.
What?
A nerdy kid makes a clone of himself who is cooler than him, so the clone can go to school in his place and discourage his bullies, as well as get the girl he's after. At first, the clone doesn't cooperate and spends his time singing Huey Lewis and the News songs to his mom.
Okay, this is true.
But eventually helps the kid out and helps him get his life in order. Let's see.
Well, he's not wrong, except for the fact that it's an epically awesome movie, but keep going.
Most of this movie can be halved into two horrible sections.
Oh, no.
Horrible music and horrible robots. I disagree with one.
First off, the music in this movie is fantastic. You even have the soundtrack on vinyl, correct?
I do. I had to look up Bodo soundtrack, and I got it for a few dollars from Germany.
What? A few dollars? Dude. All right. Is there any more? I'm going to have to get this on record. This is just way too good.
It's hard to find, but you can, find it.
Anna Lucy or whatever is actually not a bad singer or whatever either. She's actually quite good.
Quit, though.
Well, obviously, she did Pawn, didn't she?
I don't think so. Let's see. So he goes on. The kid, whose name is Bodo, has two robots that he's made besides the clone, which for some reason acts like a robot and needs to be recharged and talks about programming. But I guess this could be a problem with the terrible translation from German. One is an obnoxious kitchen robot that does chores like cooking and ironing. The other is a fucking frightening monkey robot on roller skates.
It's not
I wish
frightening.
I could find a picture of it, but I got this movie on VHS and don't have a way to get the picture online. Also, I couldn't find one already around because nobody's heard of this movie, and the trailer I found for it didn't show it. Probably because it's fucking creepy.
Well, all right. First off, that is opinionated review. Let's remember, art is. Oh, there's more.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay, I apologize. Keep going.
The other huge flaw in this movie was the music. I guess the music itself wasn't so bad back in the 80s when it was popular. But even the stuff that happens while these entire songs are playing are just awful. Yeah, they do play the whole songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I have a theory on this, but go ahead.
Yeah. The romantic interest girl plays in a band where none of the members play instruments that are even in the song. And they all wear awful clothes and do horrible things while singing. That's true.
Yes. Very much
the most off-note music-related awfulness in this movie, I was working up to this, is the first scene after the clone is created. He goes down to the kitchen to find Bodo's mom there. Then he proceeds to dance and seduce her while he sings Huey Lewis in the news. It's seriously operable.
That is okay. I got to stop this guy there. That is incorrect.
It's almost done. And it's uncomfortable and disturbing to watch. After this, him and his mom drink Singapore Slings together, and they almost make out. I'm serious. Fuck this movie.
All right. Okay. That's his review. Our review is going to be a lot better than this. So should we just start from the? Do you want to just fuck this
Let's
pig?
go.
All right. Let's do it. So
yeah.
We start off with a hop, 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 like a sound check. And then there's a song called "I Want a Heart," and it's fantastic. The music in this movie is so goddamn good. It is second to none. All right, it's all in-house music.
Whenever you hear the music, they play the whole fucking song. The whole fucking song.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that Anna Lucy or whatever, this was. She did this movie practically for free because this was supposed to be a launching thing for her career, right?
So Anna Lucy is like the England's girl who sings with Gumby in the mall. What's her name?
Oh, dude, you got me on that one. That's some trivia.
The mall girl who like sings the
Tiffany. Tiffany, yeah.
So she's like
I think we're alone now. No, she was like, I think we're alone now, but hers was like. I want a heart, someone to love for me. So we started out.
This movie was supposed to launch her music
career. Yeah, and
she stars in the movie as like Nova.
Yeah, she co-stars as Nova, who is the love interest. But so we start out and just as the Wiz Kid, and we see Bodo. He wakes up and he throws a pillow at his robot monkey. He's like, "It's time to get up, Master Bodo." And then
so creepy.
Then he goes to the bathroom to get ready for his day. And a samurai pops out of nowhere, right?
Yes.
And the samurai just decides to.
Can I pause you right there?
Yes.
Do you remember when you first saw this movie?
Yes.
And you see the fucked up monkey. You see Bodo wake up. You're like, okay, he's some rich. Yeah, I get that from the cover. He's a scientist kid. He's a smart kid. He's got all these technological shit he built. I get it. But then he goes into the bathroom. And it goes and there's like all this mist, and you see a samurai.
Yes,
attacking him.
Yes,
like what did you think of this?
First up, I don't know if we saw this at the exact same time, but I'm pretty sure I gave you the what the fuck zombie turn from Resident Evil 1. Like, what is this? Because even at the ripe old age of 11, 12, or 13, whenever I'm pretty sure it was 11. I was like, are you? I think you got this at 11, but we didn't watch it till later.
Right.
Because I think we watched
for a long time.
I think we watched this right before you got mono. So I
had mono for a long time.
I think you got this as a virgin and you watched it later as a man. To be honest with you, I think it was that amount of time.
You know who also had mono? The fur dog.
Dude, I have his new music video.
Oh. What? Got a new music video?
Yes. I got a lot of info on the fur dog. In fact, I want to run some. Dude,
music video.
I'm actually
serious.
And
not the Fell Dog.
Oh no, sorry, Fell Dog. Fur Dog's working on a brand new movie. I've seen him on location. It's being done in Canada. And
you get your dogs confused.
I know. Well, anyway, I'm writing a treatment called The Dirty Dogs, which stars both of them. And I will show you the script if you want to help me write it, but I'm actually going to present it to them and go like, hey, I have this movie. I'm willing to fund it.
Do you think they met each other? They've never been in a film together.
There's something called comic book conventions. They bumped into each other. They had to have. It's not possible not to. I mean, think how many times we bumped into the Honky Tonk Man. There's no, and Fur Dog is always at him. Fell Dog's there too.
I bump into the honky tonk man all the fucking time.
I know. It's like,
weird.
he's like my fucking neighbor at this point. All right. So we haven't even okay, the samurai guy. So the samurai guy enters in, right? And he starts swinging his sword around. And Bodo doesn't know what to do, but he doesn't really look, I don't know, scared. He looks more like...
He to try to brush his teeth or whatever he's fucking doing.
Yeah, he's like combing his hair or whatever. Now, then the samurai guy like swings his sword and breaks it or something, doesn't he? He breaks it, right?
A cactus or something?
Oh, yeah, he chops a cactus. And he's like, whoa. And he even makes that noise. And then he takes off his mask and it's his father, apparently. And his father's like... You need more aggression. We should talk to Dr. Herbert or whoever his therapist is, I guess. I don't know.
Therapist that he talks to like on the screen, and I don't know. Like,
his therapist gives him like inspirational videos. So in the morning when he wakes up, it's like, you must work harder, Bodo. And it's just a floating head with hands and then like a background of like a volcano or it's like a green screen.
Yeah, he's like, good morning, Bodo.
Good morning, Bodo. Get up off your ass.
Get yourself a goddamn Lamborghini or something.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, if you want to get a BMW S Series, you must get up and conquer the day, you know? So then Bodo goes downstairs and
it's like, yeah, but throw in a bomb pond.
Whatever, Miller. Let the mayor go and we'll do whatever you want. So
I never knew what a bomb pond is.
It's a stereo. It's a stereo system. I know. My dad told me it's a Blom Pomp, apparently. Yeah.
I still don't know then.
I don't know either. Speaking of pop, I need to get a pop filter, apparently, because I'm popping a little bit. I'm sorry about that. I'd be fucking pussy popping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He goes downstairs. Now, Bodo wears a uniform to work every day, so we assume that he's going to like a very expensive private school, but he's not. He takes the bus. He takes the bus. He wears shorts.
The city bus.
Yeah, he takes the city bus. He's wearing shorts, tucked in shirt and a tie, and he goes to school. And of course, like he sees Nova, who always listens to herself in headphones. Look, I've even said this. I think you asked me this once. You go, "Hey man, when you're in a band, do you just listen to yourself constantly?" I'm like, not at all. Only for the first like. If you record something new, you'll listen to it like all week, every day, and then after that, you never want to fucking hear it again. Unless you're like
Nova's listening to her own music fucking constantly.
But I mean, her music's way better than anything Heaven's Heels ever put out, or Vana. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, honestly, would you rather?
Here's also a budget thing for the movie. The fact that like Bodo wears the same clothes every fucking day, they never had to change his outfit. You know.
Well, they had to spend all the money on Huey Lewis and the News.
That was expensive. It had to be, right? That's an American-made.
I guarantee they didn't. I guarantee they didn't ask. I guarantee they didn't. Look, if American Psycho got in hella trouble for it, and they did, it even got pulled from the soundtrack, I guarantee these guys couldn't afford it. I guarantee it.
They must have did it illegally somehow.
Dude, it's in Germany. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. You can't do anything.
Do you think Interpol's going to go over there and knock on the door of Bodo's like producer and be like, yo, dude, you owe us royalties? First off, no one saw this movie besides you two, me, you, and the dude reviewing it. Oh, and the 7,000 people online.
Huey Lewis, you know, he's probably like, fuck them blokes. I ain't playing over there.
By the way, if you do want to see this movie because you've never heard about it, just go on YouTube, type in Wiz Kid, as in 2 words, Bodo 1989, and it will show up. But it's it probably won't be there for long, especially when this releases, because it usually when shit like this happens, it's up for like a week and it's gone. Unless they like did the backwards thing where they flip the screen, so you can't really tell, you know, that they're out. Just fucking watch this movie. Do yourself a favor. It's free on YouTube, and it's fantastic.
And if you smoke weed, even better. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
Dude, I'm downloading it right now, and I was planning on taking it edible and watching it later. Maybe not tonight, but in the near future. So he goes to school, and he gets picked on by Alex, right? And Alex is like... Alex is like what, their keyboard player or their drummer? Or he's their keyboard player, right?
He's the drummer.
Oh, he is the drummer. Yeah, he drums and he sings. Yeah, and then there's the other guys, and they're the Wild Boys. That's like the name of their band or their clique or whatever. You know,
I think it's the name of the band in the movie. I'm not sure though, but I just assumed that they were like, "Do you want to hang with Bodo and the Blinkers?"
No. Do you want to hang with Bodo and the Zombies or the Wild Boys?
Look. Bodo and the Zombies is a way better band name.
It is. It is way better. Alex and the Wild Boys, it sucks compared to Bodo and the Zombies. Do you want to hang out in the graveyard and dig up corpses? So we see Bodo here, and he's getting thrown into a trash can, and life sucks, you know. And then if I'm not mistaken, like what happens next is I haven't seen this movie in so long. I started downloading it once my wife showed it to me, and I'm like, well, we're already going to do the podcast, so we'll just talk shit about this movie, and then maybe I'll do a full review later. But if I'm not,
here's a point of the film that his dad is involved with insurance and like some sort of scams or something. I don't really know. They don't really explain all that, but like, you know, there's all those like reel to reel type of computers. When you have reel to reel computers, like they're old and ancient, like
they use tape,
like Willy Wonka. Like, I am now telling the computer where to find the last bar golden ticket. I am now telling the computer exactly what I could do with the lifetime supply of chocolate.
Exactly,
like one of those computers.
Oh, dude, I missed that movie. I got to watch it this October 1st.
2.
So he goes home and I think he gets more shit just from his like you just kind of see that this guy is like depressed and he rides the bus home and he sees Nova and she's listening to her own music and he's just staring at her and I remember she like moves her earphone away and he like doesn't have the balls to say anything to her if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct on this?
And Bodo, he doesn't really talk so much. He'll mumble, but then he'll go.
He makes a lot of noise, but it's.
And the way every British person, like the overdubs work, is like, oh, you're going to do this?
Yeah, sure.
It's a bunch of grunts and noises. That too.
There you go. So let's get to the chase here. I forgot exactly why, but there is a montage scene where Bodo is like, man, you know, it would be cool if I'd made a clone to solve my problem. So instead of actually going to the therapist and addressing his issues of being a pussy, he decides that, you know what? I am going to make a clone. And here's how he does it. So, ladies and gentlemen.
How does he get this idea, though, to make a clone?
I don't know, but.
They don't explain. Like, normally you see something on TV.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some foreshadowing, like, where he gets the idea for a clone. They don't have this.
Maybe
he just makes a clone from an egg.
Maybe he was watching Jurassic Park, but they didn't have the rights to order to use, like, even the trailer.
Right.
Because anyway, he pricks himself.
Oh, hello, Bodo. Hello, John. Hello, John.
He pricks himself on the finger, or no, he cuts himself with a razor and bleeds into like a beaker. Which, by the way, like you're supposed to keep blood like not touching air, or else it's coagulated. You know, it's dead blood. He decides.
I think he boils it too. Like it's weird.
Oh yeah, it's fucking gross.
Then he injects it into
an egg, like an egg you would find in your refrigerator. Right? Like a non-fertilized egg. And I don't even think there's a syringe out there that's thin enough to go through an egg without cracking it. But
it looked kind of soft egg. Maybe it was hard boiled.
I don't know. You can't hard boil an egg and make a clone. You can't. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I'm sorry. You can't make a human clone out of a chicken egg.
Well, we never tried this. Maybe you can, but I know for a fact that it wouldn't work if it's hard boiled because either way. Then he hooks it up. We don't know. Then he hooks it up to all these like stem cells, and I don't mean stem cells like to heal things, but stem cells like stems. When you go to like say the chiropractor or whatever, and they loosen up your muscles. Yeah, electrodes. And they put all this. He puts all the stems on it, and he puts it in like Easter hay, and he types in like all this, like I want him to be cool and badass and funky fresh, and types in all these adjectives that apparently the computer knows how to program it to him, you know? And,
well, this is 1989. Of course the computer knows. It knows things like rad.
Yeah. No, I think he does. I think he does type in rad and fresh and tubular. I think he does. So then you see.
He also he plays a bunch of like clips from like John Wayne and like old school like badass
Three
movies
Stooges. Like yeah, he does. And this is a montage set to Huey Lewis in the News. I want a new drug, which clearly was not licensed. It clearly.
Why are you using that song by Huey Lewis for this?
Hey man, they're German.
Drug doesn't even make sense for this.
You know why? Because they couldn't afford Hasselhoff.
I mean, they could have.
Oh, come on. That joke was kind of funny. Anyway. So, so stupid. So then anyway, we see this egg grow and grow, and it's got like a pulse. Like it's like a heart. It's like. Mm-hmm. And the next day he gets up for school, and I'm pretty sure he like puts a blanket over it or something. It's not yet hatched.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
But then we cut over to at his father's work. There's two investigators right? One has a cowboy hat. The other one looks like Garth from Wayne's World.
He looks like Garth, and like the cowboy hat guy, he's kind of like Mo Rutherford from the Stuff.
I was just about to say he's just like Mo Rutherford from the Stuff, which is funny.
He is.
And they're looking into a bunch of people's information got leaked. A bunch of people got doxxed before that was a word, and they're wondering why. Well, it turns out Bodo was using his dad's like internet or his intelligence.
He was using the intranet, which is connected to his dad's like insurance company, which the company uses one of those Willy Wonka computers that takes up a whole room with the reels. You know?
Exactly. And this is how he programs it with all this knowledge, apparently, because I think he goes to the therapist later, and the therapist grabs him like when he's in the chair and he goes, "Yeah, you need to be better, Bodo. Yeah, right."
Look, let's just fast forward. The clone's there, right?
Whoa. First, let's talk about the hatch.
Cool.
The hatch of the clone, where we actually get to see, and do not come after me, FBI. We get to see an underage.
You don't see it. You
see it.
He pops out of this giant.
We paused it, and
naked,
we paused it, and you could see
it. There's a shell over his wang, but barely.
All right, whatever. You say it's a shell. It's a wang. You could see his uncircumcised worm. It's gross.
Look, in Germany, nobody cares.
Apparently not. I just hope the FBI agents don't storm through the door, because I didn't make this fucking movie, all right? And I haven't seen it. Oh, shit, I'm downloading it right now. But it probably is a shell. But he busts out of the shell, of course, and he's a fully formed human. And I think this is only 36 hours after the initial.
Like, he busts out of the shell and immediately starts doing karate, because that's what you would do.
That's what one does.
Punching air.
Oh yeah, of course. You start shadow boxing once you hey, I don't know how many clones you've made, but all my clones, they start doing fucking Ninja Turtle shit right when they come out of the egg.
Like, I didn't even need no training to make a clone. I just inject some fucking blood or semen into an egg and boom, there it is.
I do. You know what? Now I'm going back to what you said, what prompted him to do this. There is nothing that prompted him to do this. He just goes.
It's just his life sucks. He can't get a girl. He's like, I'll just make a clone who can do all the stuff that I can't do.
Right.
Well, that's what sucks.
They could have had a 5-minute explanation scene where you see him reading a book about cloning or alter egos.
But what was his plan? You're
know.
not going to experience anything. Your clone's going to do everything.
Yeah. And what are you going to do? Kill the clone once you get the girl? I mean, how does this work? Are you going to live vicariously through it? Are you going to be a clone cuck? I mean, how is this?
Your clone is going to want your life.
Exactly.
Because he's already doing it. So he's going to fucking kill you, wouldn't you?
So Bodo is locked out of the house, and he sees his mom is coming in for growth, because the clone I don't know. I don't know how Bodo meets the clone, but he sees the clone moving around or whatever, and he's looking on the outside and peering through the window. And Bodo's home from school, and the clone just decides to, his mom comes home with all these groceries. She's got toilet paper in her mouth, and the clone has a samurai sword and a Tarzan loincloth.
Where does he get this clothes?
I don't know, but I know where he got the sword from.
No, I think Bodo planned the badass clothes, but
you think so?
Had this idea for a long time and never did it. He's probably building up to this. He's like, yeah, I'll do this eventually, and just never does it. And then finally, when he gets shoved down in basketball, he's like, fuck this,
oh, we
man.
forgot about
fuck
that.
The world.
Blinker, and remember that scene with the fucking basketball scene where he shoots underhanded?
Basketball coach with the mustache and shit. Blinker,
By the way, I'm pretty sure that I'm almost 100% sure that is the same basketball coach as the weightlifting coach from Let the Right One In. It looks just like him, and he was wearing the same shorts.
So there's no guns in England, so he can't just go and shoot up a school. So he's going to make a clone.
Wow,
to be cool.
You took it there, huh?
Yeah, I took it there.
It's okay.
But meanwhile, when the clone goes downstairs, the mom's got toilet paper in her mouth.
She drops it when she sees her son.
Oddly weird. Like you have to be holding toilet paper in your mouth. I'm the director, and you need to be toilet paper in your mouth.
So he goes, and does a Tarzan thing. And then he goes, and he's like, who are you, friend or foe? And then all of a sudden this music hits.
Dude, and like the robot sings this. And this is a
Yeah.
song by Taco. It's a known song.
It's called Heavy Metal.
But it's sung by the robot and Bodo, kind of. And they do this like Addams Family dance that
Yes.
doesn't really
Like the
work with
mamushka.
music.
It's like the tango and the mamushka put together. And yeah, he dips her and kisses her neck. And it kind of looks like she
God.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And
so fucking
and he
creepy.
smells the back of her hair and like kisses all of her arm and like just pirouettes her and he's got a rose in his mouth and they like do the cha-cha where they go back and forth exchanging it. And
Look, I've watched all kinds of porn. The porn I will not watch is where dudes do their mothers, or stepmothers.
Will
It's not.
stop
not
the
really
bike. It is
Don't like it.
his clone. Kind of doesn't count.
No, but it's still his same genes. You understand? It is him. It's minus the brain functions, but it's the same DNA. Oh, Mr. DNA.
Did you know that there is actually a phenomenon? I forgot what it's called, but it's when people are adopted, like at birth, and they seek out their parents. If it's a girl, usually they'll usually try to fuck the dad or other way around. That's like a real thing. Yeah. It's on like Spring, or it was on like Ricky Lake and Jesse Jones a lot. And then all those people got arrested. So they stopped doing it. And also it's, there's I think 3 or 4 sword and scale episodes where this happens, which is, I don't know. It's a phenomenon beyond me.
Well, Daddy Daughter is kind of hot. I mean, not for me, but for other people.
Hey man, Mommy's Girl is one of my favorite channels on YouPorn, but that again, that there's no wieners involved in that, so we're all okay, right?
Oh, you mean the mommy's not training her?
Oh no, that's Mommy Teaches. That's another good channel. I do like that one too. There's a lot of Brandy Love in those, and shout out to Brandy Love. She's my favorite. I like older girls. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Bodo really turned you on to a lot of weird stuff.
I think so. I think this might have something to do with the growth of my sexuality mentally. So anyway, Bodo and her then Bodo's mom. Oh, sorry, the Bodo clone. What is Bodo's clone even called?
Bodo clone. I don't know.
They don't even address him by name. They just they don't.
Bodo.
And then he calls Bodo brother. And
right, but like he also he starts drinking, and he's like, "Make me a Singapore sling and put it on the rocks and call it a Hong Kong."
Now Singapore sling on the rocks and call it a Hong Kong.
You know what? And of course, I never had a Singapore sling at the time of this movie because I was young. But when I got older, of course, I had to try a Singapore sling. They do get you fucked up, and when you put them on the rocks and call them a Hong Kong, it's like the same drink, just older.
I had one at a Japanese restaurant, which is hilarious. Recently. Like this year, last September, I had one, and I will tell you this: they are so fucking sweet that I think that sugar fucks with your liver before the alcohol does. So that's why they get you fucked up. Because really, it's not that boozy; it's just really sweet. Unless that booze is just masking it. Because man, I'm telling you, dude, that was one of the sweetest drinks I've ever had. Like it was like Energizer Bunny sweet. It was like a holy sword sweet. It was. It was like a blowjob sweet. Have you ever had one of those?
Yeah.
It's got whipped cream on it. It's a very, very just, ugh. When booze just tastes like straight up syrup and you could tell a girl in her 20s would love it? It's that kind of. So anyway, I don't know. It's the next morning when Bodo's brother, they get in a confrontation. It's a verbal. And then Bodo's clone starts powering down. And then Bodo, out of nowhere, preparing for this, apparently, he breaks out Scientology cans and puts it in his hands and recharges them. And he goes, Michael Mula, residence, 521 Elm Street, insurance.
What the fuck is going on? Because I don't really understand. And you explained to me because you had caught it. You're like, dude, he's reading all the shit from the Willy Wonka computer.
Yeah, all the code.
Oh, yeah. So he has all the information for some reason.
Yeah, because they use that computer. So apparently it all got processed with his coding. I don't know. Because he even says it's coding. He goes, you're part of my programming coding, brother. Remember?
And it's so weird. It seems like this is a plot thrown in to have some stupid bumbling detectives, looking for a clone for some reason.
Oh,
You
hey,
know,
man.
it's like, how do we make this happen? We have the dad and some insurance scam. That'll work.
It reminds me a lot of not because I just saw it, American Wolf in London, where they have the two cops from Scotland Yard and one's bumbling and one kind of knows what he wants to do. But you're right with the whole Mo Rutherford thing. Maybe it was just a product of the times to have kind of like a duo of cops that are kind of good but kind of not good. But they're
kind of comedy relief a little bit.
A little, but they still have like driving force in the plot. Like, for instance, one would think that Alex and the Wild Boys are like the main bad guy in getting the girl, but then in Act 3, it all has to do with these detectives. They're actually They're actually not cops; they're detectives.
And the Wild Boys are done being bullies, and like Alex is nowhere to be seen.
Wait, we need to get to that point. So it's the next.
Alex is one of my favorite. Like, I love Alex so much. He kind of reminds me of Johnny Lydon. Johnny Rotten or whatever you want to call him, like Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
and he kind of sounds that way. Like when Bodo and his clone sneak up to their band practice.
Yes, we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But we got to talk about when Bodo and his clone finally joined forces, right? And he goes, I could help you out, because he goes, you saved my programming, brother. After he saves him from his power outage, and he goes, now I owe you a favor. And he goes, well, what can you do? And it's like, dude, didn't you make him for a purpose? What the hell?
Yeah.
And then he puts on the glasses, and then he scratches his head like, And he goes, I could be you. So then it's the next morning, right?
He didn't think his clone could be him. What did you make the fucking clone for?
Exactly. Here you go. Why didn't he make a clone of Nova and just have a sex slave?
Dude, look.
Oh my God. That would have been a greater movie.
How is he going to get Nova's blood? That's a more interesting story.
Hair
or something.
I mean, maybe there's a darker version of this movie. So,
he goes and raids the treasure box, and the girl's
gross.
Put tampons.
I was going to say he kills her, but okay.
Okay, yes.
I mean, he has that like weird explosive goo that he pours down. He's got access to improvised weapons.
He murders Nova, makes a clone of Nova,
he's got samurai swords and shit. He's got samurai swords and shit from his dad. I mean, and he's got combat training. Remember, he does judo training, and they mention all the shit he does, even though we don't see it. But I mean, he has it.
But Bodo's not good at any of that stuff, but he does know it, so he should be able to defend himself.
Yeah, and if he's a really creepy guy, like creepy guys just have creepy, like kill people powers. You know what I mean? Even though they're always weak.
Bodo does have this because he's really good at stalking.
Oh, he's really good at stalking. He's like really a level 4 thief, in 3rd edition.
He rolls crits all day long.
Fucking all day long. And he never gets caught, because the only time anyway, we'll get that later. So now his dad is in the bathroom in a kimono, and we see Bodo clone come in, and he's wearing like full on Rob Halford, like studded leather armor, like forgive me, but the only way it could be described as is San Francisco leather fag gear. That's like exactly what it is.
Here's the thing, and if you ever watched Nickelodeon back in the day,
like he's just missing a leather cop hat. That's it.
This is what adults thought kids would think is badass.
Well, it is.
Kids knew it was straight up just gay stuff.
Doesn't mean it's not badass. I mean, you could. No. You could have like studded leather armor, and it's either you really like cock or you like like you're just cool, man. You like skateboarding.
But all these kid programs and shows, when a kid tried to be badass, he would just wear a bunch of leather and spikes and look stupid.
Yeah, give him a leather makeover, dude. It works.
And then you're badass, and then the girl goes, "Oh, who's he?" And
exactly.
It's like, that's Bodo. It's obviously Bodo.
So him and his dad get in a sword fight in the bathroom, right? And his dad's finally like, yes, you Bodo clone. So Bodo 2. So Bodo 2 and his dad, they get in a sword fight. Now, Bodo 2 is so good, he breaks his dad's sword. And then he throws down his weapon, and they put up their hands to go and do like karate hand-to-hand combat. And then you just see his dad go flying through the room through a door. And he's like, what? And then we see Bodo 2 in the therapy session, and he's like, show some aggression, Bodo, and he just destroys the whole office.
He destroys his vase, he destroys everything.
Exactly.
What are they saying, especially where he like beats his dad and everything?
Yeah.
Like he's like, basically your kid just fucked your wife, which is his mom, and he also beats you at Asian shit, which you love.
No, but that doesn't happen, because you see the next time they're at the dinner table, his dad's like, oh, yeah, good going. Because remember the doctor calls the dad and he goes, the therapy is working great. And, and then the next day, he goes over, his dad's reading the book and he punches him in the arm and he goes, how's it going, sport? You know, and his dad's like,
dad goes to the same websites that you go to.
Dude, I just found it out. All you have to do to make your dad proud of you is fuck your mom. And then beat him up.
You get the same girls, you know? You're like, you're to my level, son.
So then he orders a steak with ketchup and spinach, and he eats it in fast motion. And he eats it super fast motion, and then he's wearing all leather, by the way. But now it's not the spike leather; it's different leather. And then he grabs his bag and he's going to go to school. And of course, Alex and the Wild Boys mess with him. And he picks up Alex off his feet, holds him, throws him against the door, and goes, and does the stupid face with like the hands and the ears. Remember that?
Yeah,
it's that happens.
Really bad and stupid. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
So then,
this is
So
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Like, why back to like that first review that we read? Why does Bodo clone when he's formed from an egg, so he's living tissue?
Yes.
Why does he need to be recharged, and why does he like shut down like a fucking robot?
Because he's living tissue underneath a cybernetic organism. Nothing that will go.
Oh, okay. So you just really got to cheese him off, you know?
Yes, you have to. Well, that's what his mom did.
If you really want to cheese him off,
yes. Would you like to know more?
Say like, hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby. So then we have the bus ride home. Now, Nova takes the bus home with... Now, I have a theory that just came to me. I think the only reason why Bodo takes the city bus is because he knows Nova does.
Yeah, he's the best stalker of all time.
Yeah. He's like you, but...
He could walk. He takes the bus because Nova takes
You know what? The next season of You should just be a rewrite of this movie.
Dude, I hate You right now.
The first season was great.
The first season was great.
The first season was what Dexter should have been.
Season 3, like the new season, I fucking hated it. I knew it from the beginning was doing...
I couldn't get past season 2 when they went to like that weird like wedding in the tents and shit. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's all terrible. Dude, it's fucking stupid. First season's great. Whatever.
You know why the first season's great? It's because it was written by the people that do Lifetime and Hallmark. And it was too dark. But anyway, that's a whole nother fucking conversation. So Bodo clone is on the bus with Nova, and then Nova's so impressed that she gives him a peck on the lips, and he goes, right, and his like eyes are moving around, his ears are wiggling, because I guess
he's a fucking robot. He doesn't know how to process it.
Yeah,
except for insurance.
Oh, it's just like The Fly. Like, we forgot to tell it about the flesh, you know, so the computer can't handle like, you know, sexuality. So, anyway, she thinks it's cute, and then you got to say the magic word. So she runs off, and he gets off, and then now is the concert scene, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it's like where they're doing their practice. The Alex and the Wild Boys plus Nova.
Yeah. And if you want
Lucy
me to
Kelly
lose my
Lucy,
brain, you gotta stand up. Stand up and fight. I really like that song, dude. That's such a good song.
Yeah, no, I have the scene right here. Let
okay,
me
cool.
Just, get through this fucking ad on YouTube. I don't know why there's
no problemo.
You know,
I mean, you're pulling the clips. Can't even be mad at you.
So here's the scene. Bodo's like running to like where they're practicing, and then it's gonna go into the building where you see.
Yeah, I love this scene. I'm gonna mute myself while you play
Alex
this.
is playing drums, and he's playing electric drums, and it sounds like electric drums, but he's way off beat, and no one's really playing their instrument.
Yes,
except for Anna Lucy. She's really playing bass in this.
Yes, but because she's only hitting one note.
That's all you need to.
Hold on, hold on. Be quiet for a second so we can actually hear it real quick.
See, and remember, Bodo puts nitroglycerin into Alex's gas tank.
Yes. God damn it! This soundtrack is so good.
I love that bass line though.
Is she just playing a fucking like A minor or sorry, A flat?
Wait. And now Alex shows up next to Anna Lucy or Nova.
No
How
drums.
is he playing drums?
Well, maybe he's got one of those repeater pedals. You know, like a A looper?
They are electric drums. So
Yeah, he might be playing a looper because those, I used to always make fun of it, but then when I went to Guitar Center, I realized like every single electric drum set has a looper. Like all of them do. And then Alex decides to like sing while picking like their noses and like just being totally DX circa 2006. Like when DX was poopy fart and not like suck it.
Right.
And then Annalisa's looking really hot. She's got like this like kind of like ballerina kind of dress thing going on with like these lace gloves and
dude, she writes good songs. Like she wrote the part for Alex to sing and duo her. You want to stand up for your rights, baby.
I mean, for a person that's never, it's clever.
It's a hit
hold
song,
on, here
dude.
it is.
Like, it just works.
Hold on. It's a banger.
Everyone's
dude.
head banging.
Hell yeah, dude! This kicks ass. Everyone needs to see this movie. It's so good. Then he's like, "You guys all fucked up. You guys all suck." Like.
Here's how you know he was like actually like really like playing, or because at the end he goes
do. Yes. He goes do, and he goes, y'all fucked up basically, and you all suck, and I'm the leader of the band, and you need to get it better. And then,
he's kind of the star a little bit. I mean, but no,
well, she really is. It's basically like he's the main guy, but she's the talent. It's kind of like Faith and the Muse in a way, I
want to see like the other version of this movie where it's all
Wait
about
a minute,
the
there's
band.
another version of this movie,
and Bodo's just a side plot.
Oh,
and it shows the whole story of the band and the Wild Boys and Nova, and then like it has some clone shit in it.
Oh my
you don't
god,
know clone or Bodo. You don't even know that.
It'd be the best if there was a mockumentary about this band. Like if it was like a Spinal Tap-esque, like what happened to Alex in the Wild Boys. I would watch that movie every day for a month. I'd be like, this is the greatest fucking movie ever.
The band that actually played the music is called the Young Uns. Not the Young Guns, the Young Uns. And they played all the music. I don't know if that's Anna Lucy's backup band or they just hired some studio musicians called the Young Uns.
Okay, so I actually do know this for a fact. The Baby Baby song was her song before this movie was even filmed. Like that song was in the can. And one of the reasons why she agreed, I don't even know how I found out this information. So it might be false, but if you find any information on this movie, it's a miracle in general. So I'm just going to say it's real. She wanted to promote her song, her single, Baby Baby, by doing this movie for pennies on the dollar. Not that she was an actress or anything anyway. She's like, I would love to do this movie, and you could use my music for free because I want to be the next Debbie Gibson or whatnot, or Madonna, And I mean, honestly, this bitch can out-sing Madonna. Let's just, be honest, dude. This chick has got a lot more talent than Lady Gaga, for instance. Like, I
talent more in writing music rather than so much doing it. She's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean she's not the greatest singer, but she has a fantastic voice. And this 80s bubblegum shit, I cannot lie, dude. I love it. I love it. It's good stuff. Yeah. I unapologetically like
review. I think the music's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I fucking that one review. It's like, okay, yeah, you're right. The movie's all over its place. Yeah, it's disgusting, but that actually makes it funny. And also the music is great. So.
And also, it makes it rewatchable with your friends laughing at like what's going on in this movie.
And there's so much dumb music in here. Remember, there's a part I forgot what it is, but it's like bop 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 bop. There's so many just weird tracks in this.
I don't even know who does that song, but I do have it on the soundtrack, and I could not find that one.
Heavy Metal's a great song. Akota Hoda is a good song.
Akota Hoda, yeah. And these were all like semi-popular songs in like Europe and Germany and those other, in between like the Netherlands type of area.
So they must have different like recording rights than we do because like as per said, Huey Lewis, I don't know how they got, there's no way they could have got a rights for this. But I don't think this ever saw a theatrical release. I'm pretty sure this was straight to VHS over here. Now, over there, we don't know.
You can sell a European movie over here with an American title that has American music in it. Mm-hmm. So I think whoever bought the movie rights to sell in America can get sued by Huey Lewis. And I don't know if that ever happened. It probably wasn't worth Huey doing anything about it. He's like, if anything, it's gonna turn on more people to me.
Yeah, it's like, why go after what was? So this was Trimark, right? Or was it Vidmark? It was Vidmark that originally owned this, and then TriStar bought it, which later became Lionsgate. And they bought this movie, I think, for like the sum of something crazy, like $20,000 or something. It was like the movie was
probably cheaper than that.
The movie was on the shelf, and it was just there, and they
wouldn't believe, like, some producers, they'll just, like, there's in middleman of Hollywood, they'll just go buy a movie and sell it to TriStar or something like that.
Yeah,
they'll buy a movie for $300, like, they own the reel.
Yeah,
and then they'll sell it to fucking Vidmark for $1,000. So they make a profit of $700.
The other thing too is sometimes a movie will come out, right, and they say it comes out in Germany, like this one did, right, and they need a market in America, and they don't have one. So a company will just go, hey, we're going to give you like 10,000 euros to distribute this, but we own it over here. And they're like, fuck it. It's just sitting on the shelf collecting dust. Why not? For instance, and then sometimes, go ahead.
I'm going to think it's like the Wizard starring, like, ever popular show, whatchamacallit, like, not My So-Called Life, the show with Frank Satch.
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years, which was super popular at the time. And also he was in the movie The Wizard, super popular. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to see this movie, The Wiz Kid, on the shelf, and parents are going to think it's The Wizard. I'm going to rent this for my kid.
It was just what I was talking about with the volcano thing. Or also, too, I remember I did a joke. It was one of my first, like, Instagram posts ever, where I took the copy of PlayStation 4 Fallout 4, and I took a copy of Borderlands 2, the Handsome Jack Collection, the same fucking cover. So I understand how parents would get confused of, I want this video game, Mom, and then they come back with the wrong video game and the kid's just pissed. I'm guilty of that too, by the way, of being that little brat where I should have just, like, accepted the fact that, I wanted I wanted a Bebop and Rocksteady, but instead I got Leatherhead, even though Leatherhead's a way cooler toy in retrospect. Anyway.
They were both cool.
Well, I mean, I should have just been like, oh yeah, Leatherhead's awesome. But
it wasn't what you wanted.
I just wanted the first 4, which I should have just been happy with my Donatello and my Mikey, because they're still my favorite to this day. Because they have the weird skin tones. Actually, no, it was Raph or did Raph have the normal skin? You should know. Donatello was my favorite, though, because he has the best skin tone and he wears purple.
He had the darker skin tone, yeah.
And also, too, in the video game, he was the best. Like, in
Mikey had the more green.
Yeah, he had, like, the most generic-looking green. So let's get to the ending of this movie, because I don't know when we are. Eventually, Bodo 2 wins over everybody. And now he gets kidnapped by these investigators who now are like, screw it, we're not going to be investigators. There's cloning technology here, because they stumble upon the kiddie porn tape of Bodo 2 hatching.
They replay it a thousand times. Of the kid hatching with his thing hanging out,
and so,
or maybe it's an eggshell. You can slow it down yourself, because the investigators, the bumbling detectives, also slow it down a little bit.
So they decide to take him to South America for reasons, and
because that's where Nazis vacation.
So
that's where Nazis went to hide out.
But they don't know which one they want. They want to get the original one because he has his cloning technology, when obviously it's so easy. All you got to do is play Huey Lewis in the news and get an egg and some blood. But they decide they need to they decide
to do that tonight.
But they kidnapped the wrong Bodo, right? So then the real Bodo and Nova, Bodo now grows some balls, and they're in a high-speed chase for whatever reason. And
you gotta have a chase scene.
Yeah, they do. And then
I think they crash into a
candy store. They crash into a cake store, and then he recharges. Bodo 2 recharges, and they go to a train station, and then he leaves with his charger, and then it plays "I Want a Heart," and that's the end of the movie.
It sounds like they just wanted to end it. We had no idea.
It's like the end of this podcast. Like I have nothing left. I have nothing. I wish I had something. I will tell you
it
this.
Doesn't end in a big bang. It's just this is the movie.
I swear to
God. The best parts are like the beginning and middle, kind of, and then the rest of it is like, who gives a fuck?
I guarantee that they filmed this movie ran out of money, and then filmed the end, or something of the such, right? Maybe they filmed the beginning, and it was going to be like a very sci-fi kid involved, like Spy Kids kind of thing, and they ran out of money and like, fuck it, have him fuck his mom. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. But okay, so this got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes because no one reviewed it, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't even know if this has, I couldn't find a budget. I couldn't find if it was even in theaters or how long it ran. I couldn't find shit about this. That review and one music video and me ripping it, which I'm still doing right now, not because of the scene with the eggshell, but I do really want to rewatch it because I know it's not going to be there forever. But that's all I could find. I mean, I couldn't find shit about this movie, but I mean, this movie's been in my life for 25 plus years, and it's still
you
good.
Still rewatch it here and there. You just have to.
I mean, shit, dude. Weed is legal in California and 38 other states. Why don't you just pop this? Find out where you can get this movie. You can't find it. You cannot buy it. It's impossible. You cannot find anything. But what you can
It's only on VHS.
Yeah. Oh, shit. So anyway, I'm going to play the clean version as an outro. Do you have anything to plug before we get out of here?
I do have a Hoodmania contest going on.
What?
On Instagram. Yes. Hoodmania is an action figure photography contest. You don't even have to be good at it. You just have to like tag Hoodcast AF Instagram, and basically you're in the running to win a no holds barred 2-pack. That's Hulk Hogan as Rip and
nice.
What's his name?
Zeus.
And you go, dude, that's a $90 box set or more now. But
what about if I got a Power Glove and I made like the Wiz Kid Power Glove on the cover? Would that count?
Yeah, sure.
Goddamn right.
It does. Each picture that you post on Instagram counts as one entry into the raffle. It's basically a random wheel that is going to happen on the second day of WrestleMania.
I know some of my fans have some RoboCop, Terminator, and Evil Dead toys. So, you know what? Join this contest. Follow Hoodcast AF if you like photography of action figures or you just like collecting action figures. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We're all old and in our 40s. We can admit we like playing with toys once in a while, right?
Yeah, or, watching little dudes break out of eggs.
With the things on there. No, I'm not admitting to that. We're not admitting to that whatsoever. It's just a part in this movie.
I'm now telling the computer exactly where to find a little boy breaking out of an egg.
And I don't have a wiener. So anyway, remember patreon.com/knifepartypod for only $1. You can get all these specials and all these episodes early and often without ads. And John, don't you have a Patreon too? The NECA figure?
Yeah, I do. Like if you go to patreon.com/HoodcastAF, get all sorts of bonus features about movies, anything fucking hilarious, action figures, all kinds of shit. And it's only $3 on the broke ass NECA tier, which is a huge company.
Dude,
so,
I wore your shirt to work the other day too, by the way, and no one got the joke.
Well, wrestling fans love it. It's
I know.
Like one of the best shirts ever made.
My favorite T-shirt to wear, just because it gets double takes all the time, is Hulk Hogan. We're coming for you, NECA. It's such a good fucking.
But no, it
so
says
funny.
it's Booker T and Harlem Heat as figures.
Yes,
and they're doing the interview in the thought bubble or the speak bubble. It says Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you, figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just fun.
It's great. It's good times. It's you know what? It's just that good tongue-in-cheek fucking humor. All right, John, then we'll stay tuned. I'm going to play our outro, and we're going to get the hell out of here. But we'll see if we can work on something in a second. So from all of us here at the Knife Party Podcast, remember to be kind and rewind. Now, I think I need to return some videotapes, but I'm not going to leave you without playing you a very good version of Baby by, what's her name again?
Anna Lucy.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, exactly. If you don't think this movie has good music, that guy was an idiot. Because listen to this.
Hey, you can play with Bodo and the zombies, or you can hang with the Knife Party.
Oh, I love that. I'm keeping that. Thank you so much.
write me letters, you tell me you care. And after school you were standing there. Then you call me
On the phone, you're not alone.
The boys in school, they laugh at you. The girls in school don't look at you. And when you think I have to smile, just wait a while.
Oh, whoa, 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 baby. When I look in your eyes, baby, I see inside, baby.
Your love inside.
Now, if I get pulled from YouTube for this, that means they just want to shadow ban me because this is not credited. Dude, Heaven's Heel should have covered this song.
Your love inside,
You can hide. Whoa, 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 whoa.
when you see me having fun, you don't believe you are the one.
Oh, what about if Peter were to do
Your
this?
heart breaks in two.
That'd be great.
You feel so blue.
The boys in school
They
don't
tease you
look
and
at me.
make fun of you too. But I know you are true blue. You don't give up, 'cause you know my love will grow. Baby,
When I look in your eyes, baby,
I see
inside, baby,
you love
inside, you cannot hide.
Oh, whoa,
You gotta throw in a
whoa,
Baby, if I look in your eyes, baby.
Now it's the detective singing, the Garth guy.
Come on.
All right, that about does it.
Nick, care.